unless you're okay with paying yourself $3 an hour, like knock it the hell off. Like stand up for yourself and accept better. Like demand better. Stay in your freaking lane, all right? And focus on having a system, right? A tactic, a strategy to take people from cold to turn them to warm and to get them to buy. Hey, if you do that and just stay in your lane in terms of what it is that you're offering and who you serve, you will have a business that has a great profit margin. Okay, and not only that, but you will have a business that one day that you can actually sell and step away from versus you just having to run this thing forever.
Welcome to Show Me the Nuggets, where each week Joe chats with world-class entrepreneurs to find out the key principles, strategies, and processes that lie behind their outstanding achievements. Now, your host, the no bullshit serial entrepreneur, Joe Troyer.
So next up is your demo or your offer. And what I mean by this is you could also say consult or strategy session. And these things to me, guys, are all the same thing. It's just what's the mechanism that you have and that you use that's a process of taking somebody from warm or cold and turning them into a sale. And way too many people in the agency space take their business for granted and are simply operating out of like, I'll take any job that gets referred to me. And they're being lazy with their marketing, right? Whatever falls in their lap, they'll take. And ultimately, I think that if you're in that position, short term, it might be okay, but long term, you are really, really losing so much money. It's not even funny. And what I mean by that is if you're always doing one-off jobs, even if you do the same fulfillment, but it's one-off, meaning different verticals, it's going to be very hard to have a 75% plus margin unless you're paying yourself to do the work like $5 an hour. Because every time, let's say you're doing SEO, every time you got keyword research to do, every time you got all the city research to do, every time you got to figure out what topics to write about, every time you have to figure it out for the first time. Stop fucking doing it. Like, please, for the love of God. Like that is the most horrible, awful work ever that you get no return from. And so unless you're okay with paying yourself $3 an hour, like knock it the hell off. Like stand up for yourself and accept better. Like demand better. Stay in your freaking lane, all right? And focus on having a system, right? A tactic, a strategy to take people from cold to turn them to warm and to get them to buy. Hey, if you do that and just stay in your lane in terms of what it is that you're offering and who you serve, you will have a business that has a great profit margin. Okay, and not only that, but you will have a business that one day that you can actually sell and step away from versus you just having to run this thing forever. Guys, you should be scared of having to run a business forever. You should be scared. Like, what is the exit strategy? I'll tell you that for all the baby boomers that are looking at getting out of a lot of businesses right now, and even the generation before them that are getting out of businesses right now, what are their options? They don't have shit for options. A lot of them are trying to sell their businesses right now. And I'll tell you what's happening. Jack's happening. They're getting robbed. Their businesses are being taken from them for pennies on the dollar because they're next of kin. Their kids don't want their business. And they haven't ran their business like a business. They've treated it like a hobby. And so it's worth quite literally pennies on the dollar. So for me, guys, this scares the shit out of me. I want to have an exit. I got to be able to get out someday, sometime. And I got to be moving towards that and building towards that. And if you're not, I'm going to smack you, make you think about it. Like, do you really want to be doing this forever? When I was just in Ohio, I stopped and saw this sign shop, and I was talking to this sign shop, and they got the same problem, right? They got kids. The kids don't want to take over the business. It's got a daughter or son. Daughter or son doesn't want to take over the business. It's a great business, but the guy that runs it is the owner operator, and nothing happens without him. Like, he's involved, like he's got employees and such, but the business wouldn't run without him. Business is worth like nothing because of it. So for me, again, guys, sorry for the tangent, but a business is a list of systems and processes. And the only way that I believe it's a business and not just a hobby, right, is if it can run without you. Step away for a week, step away for 2 weeks, right? And you should come back and the business is stronger than when you left. All right, so in this demo slash offer slash consult or strategy session, in this mechanism, what we want to do, again, is be able to take somebody from cold and talk to them about a promise or a result, okay? Or from a foot in the door into this mechanism, right? This is the mechanism that converts prospects. So we have two different angles to get people into this to sell them. Without this, a sale doesn't happen, right? So we either have the foot in the door, okay, or we have basically direct pitch to a strategy session or a consult, right? Direct pitch into that call, okay, or by offering a foot in the door. Those are the only two ways that these things happen, okay? And this process, no matter if you got it from pitching it directly, like head on, or you got it from running a foot in the door offer, this should be 95% the same. And again, it needs to be something that is predictable and that is proven to take customers from being cold or warm to a close. And if you're doing a good job, folks, I would guess that 75, based on my experience, and from helping people implement this as well, that 75% of your sales are going to come from one call closes. Either that or you're doing it wrong. So this is a metric that you should be looking at. Okay, and you should be closing, I believe, should be closing roughly 1 in 4 to 1 in 5 of your prospects. So anywhere from 20 to 25% of the people that you bring into this call, and again, I don't care what you want to call it, it's going to depend upon how you set this call up. It can be a demo, it can be an offer, it can be a consult, it could be a strategy session. Okay, understand that you can change the lingo. It can be an action plan. Okay, but you should be converting anywhere from 20% to 25%. Okay, that should be the metrics that you're looking for. It may not start there, okay, but that's kind of the threshold that you should be looking for. Okay, so this becomes really simple, folks. There's been a lot of experts that have talked about you don't really have a business until you can pay X amount of dollars, okay, to get a sale. And so really what we want to do long term and what we should be thinking about strategically is how much money or how much time does it take to get somebody either on a foot in the door product or on directly on a strategy session. And then based upon that, how many people do we need to stick through this funnel, right, to get a sale out the other side? So if it's 1 in 5, right, then we need 5. So if it takes $10, right, to get somebody on a strategy session, it's going to cost $50 to get a sale. Okay, I can tell you guys in more high ticket, more mainstream type of services, people are paying anywhere from $100 to $500 to get a paid strategy session, right? So let's break that down. If they're paying at the high end $500, and folks, that's a lot. In my businesses, I've never paid anywhere near fucking $500. Most of the time, I've broken even on the front end or I've made money. Okay, but let's think this through. If you spend $500 to get a prospect to either be on a foot in the door call or a strategy session call, and it takes 5 of those to get a deal that then is worth $2,000 a month, you are trading $2,500 for $2,000 a month. So the only question should become, how many of these do you want each and every month? And trust me when I say you have a really big fucking problem if you can't make that math work or you aren't willing to go in the hole for 1 month and can't finance that. At the end of the day, I think I want to give you guys a couple of takeaways on your demo, your offer, your strategy session. Is you gotta understand that the goal of that call is to take somebody from where they're at now to where they want to go. And we all have to understand that along the way, to get from where they are now to where they want to go, right, or their goal, is that there's lots of things that they have to do. Understand that all that you're saying is that I can help you get there faster. I can accelerate this. I've been there, I've done that. Okay, if you can say that, right, then do that. Your goal is to show them that you're the gap. You can solve going from here to there and doing it better and faster than they can. At the end of the day, way too many people that I speak with and I look at their decks, I look at their pitches, they're simply not doing that. Right? They're not showing them that there's a void, that they have to do more than they're doing right now to get to where they're trying to go. If you don't tell a prospect or show a prospect that there's a gap that they have to fill to hit their goal, right? That they got 5 more things, they got 10 more things that they need to hit and to hit well in order for them to hit their goal, and position yourself in the middle there to help them achieve that, I don't even know why you're getting on these calls. So if you're selling SEO, the easy way to do that is to really talk about average customer value, right? And to back out the system. Right? How many customers then do you need? Okay. Then how many phone calls do you need, or web form submits do you need? And then obviously we want to talk to them or show them that that's possible and how they can get there and the time that it's going to take to get there. Now we could do that by simply showing them case studies. We could do that by showing them the search volume, for example. But the better that you can demonstrate this, the better. A big piece as well that I see people not implementing is you got to back out the example ROI. So when you do this and you back this all out, that's great. And you're getting the customer to see it. But you need to think of this as an investment, because marketing is an investment. Okay. So what's this investment going to yield? Folks, at the end of the day, there is no better investment than local SEO and local advertising in terms of Google and Google search. Like, there's not, as long as you can simply get them results. Okay, so make sure that you break this down as an investment. Okay, because they're making money in their business. Otherwise, you shouldn't be fucking talking to them. And they're doing something personally to invest in themselves. Why the hell shouldn't they be investing in their business? And you should be making this case, and you should be talking about the return on investment from SEO and from what you're doing versus everything else. And compare it to stocks and bonds, compare it to your 401k, shit, compare it to real estate, compare it to any other vehicle that they want to compare it to, and you should be the undoubtable champ, or you need to go pick another freaking product to sell. You should be able to, without a doubt, say that in X amount of months, right, the investment pays for itself. I've listened to so many sales calls, people talking with pay-per-click prospects, SEO prospects, pay-per-call prospects, and they simply can't answer the question, right, how long do I have to front this investment before it starts paying for itself? Like, that is the most basic question ever. Be prepared, right? And then ultimately, folks, at the end of the day, you should be looking at how you can offer any type of risk reversal. And risk reversal comes in a lot of different ways. This could be a guarantee. This could simply be with SEO. Like, people want to see results, and that you're not going to stand around with your hands under your butt, not doing shit and getting paid, right? Everybody's been burned in all of these industries that we're targeting. So what do we want to do? We want to pull them in on a deal that makes sense to them. Okay, so if you're doing SEO, for example, the big issue that you're going to have is it's going to take a good 60 to 90 days to really show somebody what it is that you can do, to kind of prove yourself. You're under the gun, but it also doesn't take a year. Okay, so what I've done in SEO to kind of close that gap and to help reverse the risk, I'm not saying that you need like a money back guarantee. That's not it, right? But just help them reverse the risk and pencil out this deal. They know that they need SEO. So what I've done in the past is I've given them a 90-day out. So I've done a 12-month contract, and that 12-month contract auto renews every year too, unless they cancel, right? So I get them thinking long term. But in my pitch for SEO, it's simple. Look, Mr. Customer, I know you need to see results. And I know that you've probably been burned before. And you've probably paid somebody for months and months and months or years and years, and you've never seen shit in terms of a return on investment for traffic and what they did. So here's what I'm going to do, and here's how I'm going to be different than everybody else. My contract works like this. I really need 90 days to prove to you what I can do and to put my money where my mouth is. So when you sign this contract today, what's going to happen is you're going to sign this 12-month contract and it renews every year. I need to know I got somebody long-term, as long as I can show you, Mr. Business Owner, that this is going to pay for itself long-term. Fair enough? Yep, fair enough. So I need an out, or you need an out. I understand if I don't do my job. Is that fair? Yes, that's fair. So here's what we're going to do. Between days 75 and days 90 in our agreement, you have the opportunity to cancel. I call this a 90-day out. So if you're not happy with my results in 90 days, if I haven't shown you that things are improving and we are on the way to getting a return on investment, then I fully expect you to cancel. We mitigate the risk. Guys, this took me from going month to month in my deals, right? Month to month, and having problems collecting payment in my first agency, right? To me getting people signing a 12-month contract that renews every year, right? Unless they cancel. Guys, cancellations are slim, right? Took me from getting paid very inconsistently to 90% of the people that I brought into this deal sticking around for at least a year. Think about that for a second. At $2,000 a month, that goes from my average customer value probably being, let's say $10,000 to $12,000 to being at least $24,000. I more than doubled my average customer value. So again, be creative when it comes to the guarantee. And when it comes to kind of the risk reversal, it doesn't mean that you have to say, like, if you sign on the dotted line and I don't make you $1 million in the next 30 days, I'll refund all your money. No, like, screw that. Or a double money back guarantee. No, you don't need to do that. Okay, but just think about risk reversal. Okay, think about how you can cut the risk from your prospect's mind.
Thanks for tuning in and showing me the nuggets. If you've been enjoying the podcast and find our content helpful, please visit our Apple Podcast page, hit the subscribe button, and leave us a review. Joe and the whole team have been working hard to bring more value to the show. Your feedback will go a long way in helping us make the show better and reach a wider audience.